free agency is great. Again, I don't think it's any kind of panacea. I don't think you win championships today. What you do is you add to your depth chart, you fill some holes. I don't think there's going to be an acquisition during free agency where you're going to say that's the reason Team X won a Super Bowl.
Although if you look at Seattle last year, Don, they added Cliff Averill, who was a big piece. Michael Bennett was a big piece. I think it just depends on your strategy. You know that the Giants aren't splash where you think about, it's a monster move. The Jets, I think, are more inclined to do that. There's a couple guys we've heard that they're interested in. Vontae Davis, the cornerback, formerly the Dolphins, and the Colts is one of those guys. I think that certain teams look at it very differently. I agree with you that I would prefer to build via the draft, but look at the Dolphins. The Dolphins signed Mike Wallace last year. The Dolphins have come out already, and they've signed Brandon Albert, right, from Kansas City. So it just depends on the team. But I agree with you, but I think you kind of need both things to work in conjunction, and that's what a good GM is able to do.
Yeah, but where you build in the NFL is you build via the draft. I mean, that's where you get your quarterbacks. That's where you get your major skill players. I mean, you may pay for a guy that you absolutely need, but as Bill Polian, and I keep quoting him all the time during these conversations, is that you're never one player away via free agency. That was always, at least you can't look at it that way, otherwise you find yourself overpaying for said player.
And you know what?
Can't afford to do that.
In this league, this day and age, you win with the quarterback, right? I think we all agree with that. There's not that guy that's the only guy that you could have made the argument was available that was that level of quarterback was Jay Cutler, and he was taken off the board well before free agency got here.
And right now you've got Michael Vick. Now, if you tell me Michael Vick cuts down on the turnovers, if you tell me Michael Vick is going to play in all 16 games, then he may be impactful in this season, but I don't think he will be playing in a Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination. But, getting a little bit of pushback from Giant fans, why aren't you talking about the Giants? Well, because the Giants don't have much maneuverability. They haven't made a major signing yet. But we've had this conversation. I'm not saying the Jets are going to win a Super Bowl before the Giants, but when I look at the future, I think the future is brighter for the Jets than it is for the Giants. With all this cap space and 8 picks in 7 rounds coming up, you can make the case that the Jets' future is brighter than the Giants because the Giants have so many holes and just not enough money or picks to fill them all.
You can make the argument that the Jets' future is brighter than the Giants, and then you can take the flip side. If Geno Smith is not the answer at quarterback, then the Jets' future is not even remotely bright, Don.
That's true.
So that's the thing.
But if the Giants don't find a way to start protecting Eli Manning, and they're going to get the quarterback killed, never mind win.
If we finish free agency and we finish the draft, and the Giants have a similar offensive line to what they had last year, then you're going to see Eli's turnovers be just what it was last year. And he's not getting younger, and he suffered the first legitimate injury of his career last year. The only difference is it happened week 17, so he didn't miss any time. But I agree with you. I look at Jerry Reese as one of the better general managers in the NFL. I look at Tom Coughlin as one of the better coaches in the NFL. I would be very surprised if we got to the beginning of the season and the Giants' offensive line wasn't seriously improved.
Oh, it's got to be. And they already got Snead to take a pay cut to be able to free up some space. They have somewhere in the neighborhood between $16 and $17 million, maybe a little bit more after the Snead transaction. Let's see them go out there and get something done. Raf Acciano will join us coming up next to give us a Giants update, who they're pursuing, who they're close to getting.
See, and they say we don't talk Giants. There you go. People complain and it gets done.
But, the Jets have a fan base that likes to complain, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, and rightly so. I mean, they've gone so long without a championship, and they've also got a lot of things on the board here. Darrelle Revis is now out there. I mean, that guy walks on water.
Do you really think Darrelle Revis is coming back?
No, I do not think he's coming back, nor do I think he should come back. I'm not saying he's done.
How bad of a trade was that from the Bucs?
The Bucs really don't know what they're doing.
They changed the whole regime after that trade.
Of course, they should have. I mean, it's a major mess. And now they've got a different coach in there. Now he's obsolete, and they're going to get rid of him. And listen, he walks on water to Jet fans. I mean, he's a big name. You walk around MetLife Stadium, and there are more 24s than any other number that you're going to see outside of Curtis Martin's number 28 or Joe Namath's number 12. But do not think that's what you're getting back. Now, if the money is extremely right, although we're hearing that the Bucs are talking to the Rams right now to trade him to St. Louis, I don't think I touch him.
Could you imagine, by the way, I was talking to Gunling about this, if the Rams got, because the Rams defense is already very good, if they got Darrelle Revis and Jadeveon Clowney in this draft to go along with Chris Long and Robert Quinn.
Very good.
I mean, that would be, and Jeff Fisher is one of the better defensive minds in the NFL. I just think, people get so wrapped up, Darrelle Revis has to come back, or it's a guy we want. Can we just wait and see? John Inzig, I think, had a very nice first year with no pressure, but he had a nice first year. He cleared out some of the junk. You see Cromartie goes. You see Santonio Holmes goes, let's give the guy now a full year. Let's give him free agency. Let's give him the draft. Let's see what he's capable of doing. If we get to the end of next year and the Jets are 8-8 or 7-9 and Geno Smith is taking a step backwards, yeah, you know what? Then I get it. But right now, I think there's so much of this guy has to come here or they have to bring in Eric Decker. It has to be Darrelle Revis. I'm sure there's a game plan in place for the Jets, and let's just see how they execute that game plan.